What's up guys, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and we've got a bit of an exclusive here today. This is the first official unboxing of the Google Pixel 3 and 3 XL. But we're doing things SuperSaf style here, so not only do we have the Pixel 3 XL in this special box here at the bottom, but we do have the Pixel 3s in all of the different color options available. And as a bonus, we do have the Pixel stand as well. Let's get straight to the unboxing. Right, so firstly, let's open this special #Team Pixel box. And this has the Google Pixel 3 XL. Oh yeah. So we've got three colors this year. We've got clearly white, just black, and the new color this year is not pink, which is quite interesting. And that's what we've got the Pixel 3 XL in. Picture of the back of the Pixel here at the front. And at the back, we have #Team Pixel. We do have a different color for each of them. So a blue back for the clearly white, a green back for the just black, and a red back for the not pink. Right, opening this up. Ooh, interesting. We are presented initially with the phone. Now each of these come with exactly the same stuff in the box, so we'll only have a look inside one of these boxes. We've got some paperwork as well as some stickers. So we've got the Google logo as well as #Team Pixel. Then we've got the SIM card ejector tool. We've got a USB Type-C power adapter. Now this does support fast charging. There's a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable. And this year we do get a USB Type-C headset. Now this headset does have support for Google Assistant, so once you've got it connected to your phone, you can press and hold and that is going to launch Google Assistant for you. And of course, this does mean that, like last year, we do not have a 3.5mm jack. However, we do get a USB Type-C to 3.5mm dongle. And finally, we do again get a quick switch adapter. So this is basically going to allow you to quickly transfer everything from your previous phone into your new Pixel. And this can be done in 10 minutes or less, apparently. Right, so that's everything that we get inside the boxes. Now let's get to the devices. We're going to start off with the Pixel 3 XL. Plastic off. Oh yes. So it's definitely not pink, kind of looks like a bit of an off pink sort of cream color. Now you'll notice that like last year, we do have a colored power button, which looks pretty cool. Now the Pixel 3 just black initially. Oh, this is so satisfying. Looks very, very similar to the just black that we had last year. Clearly white, which once again, we did have a similar version of this last year too. But this year we do have a colored power button on the clearly white. This is something that we didn't have last year. And finally, we also have the not pink Pixel 3. And this is exactly the same color as the Pixel 3 XL. And here are all the colors side by side. Now we do have a different build compared to what we had last year. So we've got a painted metal frame with a glass back this time. So previously we did have a metal back. However, the bottom part of the glass is this sort of soft touch glass, which is quite nice and is not going to attract fingerprints as much as normal glass. But the top portion is this sort of a glossy glass, which continues on from the design language that we've seen in the Pixels previously. So why do we have a glass back this year? Well, that is of course because this year we do have wireless charging, and that's something you're going to be able to use with the Pixel stand, which we'll be unboxing right after we've gone over everything here. We've also got IP68 Water Dust Resistance this year compared to IP67, which is what we had last year. And in terms of the physical dimensions, they're pretty much exactly the same compared to what we had last year. So the Pixel 3 is roughly about the same size as the Pixel 2. And the Pixel 3 XL is roughly about the same size as the Pixel 2 XL. But we do have larger displays now on the new Pixels, and that is because we have much smaller bezels compared to last year. And we'll start off with the Pixel 3. So compared to last year's Pixel 2, which has a 5-inch display, we now have a 5.5-inch display in a very similar size body. Now, this is an OLED display, and first impressions looks really good. It's got a full HD plus resolution with roughly about a 78% screen to body ratio. Now let's move on to the Pixel 3 XL. So compared to the Pixel 2 XL last year, which has a 5.5-inch display, we now have a 6.3-inch display. It still has a Quad HD plus resolution, roughly about an 82% screen to body ratio with OLED technology. And of course, there is a big notch. Now I can't really sugarcoat this. This is definitely the biggest notch that I've seen on a smartphone. However, it does have lots inside this notch. We've got dual front-facing cameras this time. Now, I've been on record to say many times that the Pixel 2s had the best front-facing cameras on any smartphone. And even compared to the new smartphones that have been released this year, the Pixel 2 and 2 XL still take the best selfies, especially when it comes to portrait mode. Now this year, both front cameras are 8 megapixels, we've got autofocus, and the primary camera has a standard angle of view with an f1.8 aperture, but the secondary camera has a wide angle of view, so that's roughly about 97 degrees, and this has an f2.4 aperture, and of course this is going to be great for your Wi-Fi's, if that's what you want to call them. Groupies. What do people call group selfies these days? Now, I personally cannot wait to put these cameras to the test and put them against some of the competition. And definitely let me know in the comments below which SuperSaf style camera comparison you'd like to see first here on the channel. And as well as the two front-facing cameras, within that notch is one of the two front-firing stereo speakers. So this is another thing that you are getting, which you might not be getting on other devices, and might make you feel a little bit better about that notch. Now, as last year, the cameras are exactly the same on the Pixel 3 and 3 XL. Now, if you look in the back, you'll notice that we've just got the single rear-facing camera. Of course, we're at a time where some manufacturers are going for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 cameras. But last year, despite the fact that the Pixel 2s had a single camera, they still beat out a lot of the competition. And I think unanimously, pretty much everyone agreed that the Pixel 2s had the best cameras last year, at least when it came to images, and I'm very hopeful for the Pixel 3's camera. Now, this is a 12 megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture as well as optical image stabilization, but the important thing here is that it does have Google's Pixel Visual Core, and this is going to use machine learning and software processing to improve your images. We do have some new features this year, so when you do take an image, it's not going to just take that image, it's going to be taking images 1.5 seconds before as well as 1.5 seconds after. So say for instance you're taking a group shot and somebody looks away, it's going to recommend a shot to you, and if you want to keep that, you can do. That's really interesting. I cannot wait to test this camera out. You've also got a spectral and flicker sensor, so that should help in those scenarios. And here at the back, we've got the fingerprint scanner in a very similar position, and it works really, really well. On the right hand side, we've got the power button, which is colored on some of the devices, the volume rocker. Nothing on the left hand side. At the bottom, there is the USB Type-C input, as well as the SIM card tray. And at the top, we've got a mic. Now for the batteries, we've got some reasonably sized batteries in these devices. We've got 2,915 mAh on the Pixel 3, and on the 3 XL, we've got 3,450 mAh. Now in terms of actual usage, we're gonna have to of course test these out. And internally, both devices are running the Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, which is one of the fastest processors out there. But we've got 4 gigabytes of RAM on both devices. Now honestly speaking, I was hoping for more RAM, but we do have stock Android, and that's something unique about these devices. You are gonna be getting updates directly from Google, and because they're optimized for the hardware, they should be performing really well. Of course, we're gonna have to put these to the test and see how well they perform. They are gonna be coming with Android P out of the box. If you do wanna see some speed tests of the Pixels with other devices, once again, definitely let me know in the comments below. Now, in terms of storage, these do come with 64 gigabytes as a base, and there is a 128 gigabyte version available as well. You might be thinking that's pretty less in terms of storage, but Google still does offer unlimited storage for your photos and videos at full resolution. And this is going to be for a couple of years, I believe, and after that, you still get unlimited free storage at high resolution. So the fact that you've got 64 gigabytes as a base should be enough for most of your apps and things. And then you can have everything else stored securely in the cloud. Now let's talk about pricing. So the Pixel 3 is going to be starting at £739 for the 64 gigabyte version. And the Pixel 3 XL is going to be starting at £869. So you will be paying more compared to what you did last year. Pre-orders do start today, and they'll be shipping from the 1st of November. And there we have it, guys. That is the Google Pixel 3 and 3 XL exclusive unboxing, SuperSaf style. What do you guys think of these? Definitely drop me a comment below and let me know. In terms of my first impressions, I'm definitely liking the devices. I'm gonna have to see how I get on with that notch, and I really am excited to check out the cameras. The displays do look like they've definitely been improved. Viewing angles do seem to be better, and I can't notice any color shifting in my initial impressions, but of course I will be testing these out much more for my full review. And this video is still not finished because we have, of course, the Google Pixel stand. Let's check this out too. Now, this Pixel stand is actually a little bit special, and that's because it's gonna work nicely with the Pixel 3 and 3 XL. Comes with some paperwork, a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable, as well as a power adapter. So let's go ahead and test this out. It charges your phone like any other wireless stand would, so you can just pop your phone on there. and it's going to start charging. However, because it is the Pixel stand, it's going to give you some additional features. So you'll be able to use Google Assistant on your phone, and it can also do things like display a gallery or something while your phone is charging. This is still very new, so I'll be looking at this in a bit more detail. Of course, you can still use your Pixels with any other Qi wireless charger. And that's it for me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you haven't already, then I'm not sure why you haven't. Be sure to subscribe and switch on notifications. We're going to have lots more Pixel 3 and 3 XL content coming up on here. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV. I'll see you next time.